Hi guys, it's Belle here. So in today's video, we're going to be doing two things. Firstly, I'm going to be finishing off the cover of this little journal. Now, if any of you have been following my Finish Up Fridays, you will know that I have talked about having some unfinished projects. And this was one of those unfinished projects. This is a little journal. The only thing that I had was that I'd completely finished the cover, but it was in bits, not attached. And I'd done 2 signatures, and I ended up making 3 more signatures, but ended up only putting 4 signatures in. And this is a little mixed media cover journal. And some of you may notice that this is bound slightly differently. So quite a few years ago now, Release the Crafting on their channel Den of the Wanderer showed a little journal that they made for Lunasa Sabbath journal, and it was exactly like this. It had a mixed media cover in different colours than mine, and it was bound this way. And so I will leave that video linked down below. They also did a flip through of the journal on their crafting channel, but they also had this other channel called Den of the Wanderer. So I will leave Den of the Wanderer, the video I'm talking about, down below. And they had been inspired by a video by, I think it's Sea Lemon, which I will also leave down below, tutorial. And it is on this binding, and this is Secret, wait a minute, I've got it written down at the back of the journal. Okay, so that's the back of the journal. Secret Belgian binding, or crisscross binding. Now, this is my first attempt at it, guys, and to be honest, it's not perfect. It's actually in places quite loose, but I'm also just happy this is finished. So the thing with this binding is that, yes, it opens up and lies flat and you get this design inside, but the cover can also flip over like that, and you can kind of have it on display. And the exact same thing with the back cover, it flips like this. And I thought that was so much fun, but I did the mixed media, which Release the Crafting shows on their Den of the Wanderer video. They made a mixed media cover. This is very tiny, guys. This is 5 inches by 4 inches with a 1-inch spine, and for signatures that I used 6 sheets of paper in. So let's quickly flip through. It's got some vintage music paper. This is literally just all sorts. This was some leftover digital. This is a piece with some lace, some packaging, stripe, tea stained, little mini piece there. So this is how it looks. I wanted to use all sorts of papers in here because I've decided this is going to be used as a kind of mixed media or arty journal for me to play in. It's the perfect size because for someone like me who, I love mixed media work, but I'm not brilliant at it, and I'm still learning techniques and all that kind of thing. And I really loved playing in a journal for Junk Journal January. This is the perfect size for me to try a few things out, whilst you can see the binding there, whilst not, getting too stressed out because it's too big of a space. It's one of my jelly prints to cover, I can just, this has like mica spray on it. So yeah, I just wanted to fill it up with lots of random little papers that you can see are all different types. I do think this is a really good idea if you are quite new to journaling, or even if you're not, because I've been doing it for many years. If you try a new technique or make a new journal and you're keeping it, then maybe just put a label in the back what the technique is, what tutorial you saw it on, who inspired you, and all that kind of thing. I've got texture paste on here, I've got gilding, there's obviously paints, inks, stamping all over it in different things, and then I've inked around it. So we're going to try and finish off this cover. So I have a few bits here that I was thinking. So at first I was just thinking maybe just a label on the front that I could just write something on, or even a round label. I quite like that. It's plain. Then I pulled out one of my little paper snippet embellishments, and I do think that looks absolutely adorable. But then I found this. Now this is an autumn leaf made on a 3D printer and gifted to me by my friend Sarah. I think that's going to look really well on here. And then I found some metal pieces, some Tim Holtz. I've got Just Be You, Encourage Your Hopes Not Your Fears, and Found Objects. I think this is too shiny and everything, even if I then use alcohol inks on it, although I like the size of it. I do like the Found Objects one because I feel like this is going to be a little journal of bits and bobs. So, and then I've got some fabric because I'm thinking behind this leaf or behind the Found Objects bit, maybe have a little bit of fabric. But now I'm looking, you know what, I can't really imagine it without cutting. I don't think I want the fabric now I'm looking at it. The leaf might get hidden in there, but to be honest, without something behind it. See, I'm worried if I put that on there with the fabric, will it not allow the, this definitely needs more fraying, the binding to do its little special trick of turning. Little special trick. I don't know. I have got other fabrics in here, but they're all quite dark, and I don't know, I feel like it needs lifting a little bit because of all the dark. Like I said, I made this quite a few years ago now. I think the videos are 3 to 4 years old that inspired me, and I remember watching Release the Craftings video when they brought it out, and I might have started making it then. It just goes to show, doesn't it? I feel like I quite like that on there. What do we think? You might be saying, no, Belle, I don't like it. I do. I feel like it needs some of this fabric because otherwise it's, because of the colour of this, I probably could gild this a little bit. Thinking about it, this leaf, I don't really know how the plastic that 3D printers use. Well, I know you can paint them because I know Sarah, if you go to her channel, I will leave it down below. She prints out 3D, I want to say structures, that's not the word I'm looking for, 3-dimensional pieces, I'm just going to say pieces, and she paints them. So I'm guessing that would work. Now I'm pretty sure I have Mod Podged this, which is why I'm thinking I might have to use my glue gun, which I've already got heated up. Let's put this on first. Now again, if you're using a glue gun, oh, there's a piece there. Please be careful. They are very, very hot, and I have burnt myself more than a few times. And the reason, one of the other reasons I'm using my glue gun is because, this is the wrong way around, I want to work in this journal in this video too, and the glue that would also work for me, like stick this to Mod Podge, and I know it will because I've done it with other things, would take a while to dry. But I might have to use that glue for this. Maybe if I just glue it a little bit in the middle, and then we can stick the leaf on, because I don't want the fabric stuck down on all edges. Let's see. Yeah, I thought Found Objects was quite good because, as I said, I'm going to be using this as a mixed media or collage or a little bit of arty. This will dry clear, so you can see a bit of the glue right now, but it will dry clear. And they're all found bits and pieces, or there'll be scraps left over from other projects. Oh my gosh, honestly, Belle, you're going to end up gluing your fingers and hurting yourself. Yeah, I don't normally like working with hot glue, I'm going to be honest. Not only can you hurt yourself, but it leaves strands everywhere. Although, if you're making something for the spooky season, it's kind of perfect to have those strands hanging down. So we've got a little cover finished. Let's see if it still flips. I mean, it would flip if it didn't have the big cover on it. This side still flips perfectly. This side, now because of the big cover. Oh no, there you go. It flipped. Oh, it does. It flips perfectly. Okay, perfect. Right, so that's that. Let me just turn off my glue gun and then we can work on the inside. Okay, so I have my little box of, well, they're mainly scraps, interesting scraps, as well as my Tim Holtz pieces. And we have these I think I might want to work with. And I also keep this on my desk. Now, I did go through this in another video maybe a month or two ago and made some embellishments, and it's already filled up. This is my little, this is as much as I will allow myself of bits and bobs on my table. I do not like mess, so this little tray, once it gets overfilled, it has to either be sorted through and things put away like stamps and die cuts, or it has to be used in a project. So let's open this up and let's work in it. So I'm thinking I want more of a clear page. Maybe this white one will do. Like so. And in here I know I have these little birdie die cuts that I, when I was working on a journal and inking up the edges of pages, I was using a big piece of white paper. And so it left all the inked colours, and then I just stamped on them, that inking, and cut out some pieces. So I know I definitely want to use that, one of those on here. I don't know if I want the brighter one or the darker one. But one way, if you have not got time to wait for your ink to dry, obviously it doesn't take that long if you're using certain inks, but say you're using spray inks or paints or things like that. One way to get an interesting background is to use tea bags. Again, if you've watched me for a while, you will know I absolutely love using my tea bags in projects. And if you just put that on the back of a page, look, already you've got some interest. Now, we're not going to cover the whole page with the tea bag. But yeah, already you have got some interest. Now, normally, again, I would use Mod Podge for this. But as we haven't got tons and tons and tons and tons of time, well, you know, I could just pause the video and go and let it dry and then press play again, couldn't I? But I'm just going to glue this tea bag down. Now, the thing with tea bags is they can be super fragile. So if you're going to glue it down, be aware that it's easier sometimes to glue on the medium, the thing that you're putting the tea bag to, paper, card, whatever it is, than it is to glue onto the tea bag, because often the tea bag will rip. As I said, I will usually use some sort of medium like Mod Podge or a matte medium to put things like this onto a piece of paper. But today I used glue for speed. I've also got this interesting piece. This is actually made with tea bag as well. And I've made quite a few of these. They're like a fake leather effect with embossing folders, inks and tea bags. That I was inspired by a video, and I can't remember who now. But I think I want this bird as a focal point. I've got this interesting piece in here. Let's make it more interesting by not having Ugh, not having a straight line, I say, and I cannot tear a line down. What is wrong with me? Okay. And I think I want to ink that with some walnut stain just because, or do I? No, I'm going to leave the white for once. I don't normally. So we've got our little birds. And then I'm just looking in here. We've also got some of this fun paper, which again was gifted to me by Sarah. She is a very, very creative person. And there's not many crafts that she has not tried her hand at. I also have a whole load of these little pieces, but I don't know. Oh, maybe this one would look quite good. I thought I had more of these. Or I have, like, I love these little pieces. When I'm tea dyeing, I love a little piece like that. Oh, I could have that like almost there, couldn't I? So this, I just want to play. I just want to get some bits down so that, oh, I love this wallpaper. I think this is my last sample of it. And I don't even remember where I got it from. I just want to play, and I'm not, you can see I'm not overthinking, because that's the problem sometimes. We get so in our heads when we're making pieces that we just sometimes decide, oh, I can't do it, or there's too much to do, or it's going to take too long, or I'm getting too overwhelmed. I already really like that just as it is. I do have some of these like leaves or flowers, not Disney stickers. That is not what I want. One of those might look really nice behind. Okay, if I lift this up, let's see what this looks like behind. Oh, I like that, and it brings in some colour. And actually, if I use the other birds, they've got some pink in the bird too, rather than the yellow and orange just there. Got another one just like that. Do you know what, guys? I kind of like it as is, and then I can put a little word up there. Okay, I'm not overthinking it. This is what I'm doing. So the first thing, I am going to glue this bit down. Yeah, not overthinking at all. I just want to start working in here. And I want to use up some scraps. I have a more interesting piece than one of these, but it is small, this piece. So let's use it. Yeah, I just want to use up some of my scraps and really just play a little bit. And this little journal is such a cute little idea. So I did that binding, actually, although it looks really complicated, it ended up being not as complicated as I was expecting it to be. It just, you really have to think about where you're putting things. And like I said, mine is a bit looser than it probably would be. Not loose enough that it's coming off, just loose enough that it's a bit wobbly and like the cover moves a little bit. Let's put this down. That would make it easier to glue, wouldn't it, Belle? So it's a really fun binding, and I do like the idea that you can display it open. So if you've got something really beautiful on the first page, you can display it open. Okay. And I just want to use up bits and pieces. So we're going to have this stuck onto this paper, and it's got texture on it because we've got this textured wallpaper, and we've got this beautiful textured paper that Sarah made. Ugh. And it's a simple page, I know, guys, but you know what? Sometimes that's what you need. If you're not feeling creative, if you're having a day where you're a little bit tired, but you still want to craft, or if you just want to try some new techniques, but you don't really want to ruin a fresh, beautiful, big journal, a little journal like this is the way to go, with tinier pages so that you're not overwhelmed and you're not having to add, I mean, obviously I could add a lot of other things to here. I could add texture. I might add some stenciling, thinking about it. That's what I might do. So we've got this little page. I really was wondering about adding a piece of this somewhere, but I don't think I'd have a piece big enough. Oh, am I going to rip it? I am. I actually closed my eyes to do that, guys. You can't even see. I was obviously off camera, but I closed my eyes to rip that because I just, see, I like that there. I was just so, I didn't want to rip it. I've got several pieces of it. It's okay. And, you know, it's there to be used. But it's just the fact that I love this so much, this technique. I tried it with different embossing folders, but there are two I particularly like to use, and this is probably my favorite one to use when doing this technique. Okay, see, I like that on there. There's a lot of browns on here, I know, guys. I feel like this needs to be stuck down. Let's move all that off there. And I'm just wondering about putting a little bit of stenciling on here. So let me grab one. Okay, so I grabbed some stencils and I'm trying to work out if I want some writing, maybe. I think I might do. I think I might want some writing. So this is a Tim Holtz stencil. What's the number? THMS149, and I'm going to use a little bit of walnut stain, and I don't want it perfect. I just kind of want it in the background a little bit. I don't even know how well it's going to show up on the tea stain. Oh yeah, it shows up a little bit, which is good, but I don't want it too in the forefront. I just want it kind of there in the background. And then I'm also going to put a little bit up here, not on the flower, and a little bit down there, so it just kind of covers it all like so. I'm going to have to tear that bit because it's kind of hanging over. Oh, I tore a bit more of the tea paper. But you know what? That's okay, because I have another piece here that I can stick back down. Need to cut it just a little bit. Okay, now I'm going to actually use the glue stick on this tiny bit and hope that I don't rip it. Oh, it's so delicate. Because I don't really want it covering that handmade paper. I want the texture of that. Perfect. And now to sort of tie it together, I'll just put some writing down there. I mean, it's white there anyway, so I might just use my oxide brush on there. Doesn't have to be perfect, it's just for playing. Okay, so I've got all that. Now, I don't really have a lot of words near me. I think I have You're Never Too Old to Dream a New Dream. That's quite cute. My Adventure Begins. I don't really like that, even though it's the perfect sentiment. I don't really think I have any other words up here. That would have looked good maybe somewhere. That can go on a different piece. You're Never Too Old to Dream a New Dream. I do really like that, but it's super, super thick. So I'm going to pull it off, and then I will use that. Now it's nice and thin. Again, these are Tim Holtz chipboard pieces. do I want it down there? There's a lot going on down here. It needs to be here. Needs to be there. I'm looking and I'm thinking, does it need something? Maybe a little bit of the wallpaper that's here to kind of tie them in. Over to the side a little bit. I don't like that really white bit there. That's bothering me. So maybe over like that. Do I want that? This is when you can start fiddling and then just get completely too picky about things. So we've got that, and I do have a bit more of the handmade paper. So maybe we need to tie it all together. Maybe that's what I need to do. No, I don't like that. Do I want it underneath? Do you know what? If I do too much, I'm going to cover up the beautiful tea bag. So I'm actually not going to add anything, guys. I was going to, but I don't think I do want to add anything to that. So I'm going to cover that up. This was meant to be a quick page, but this is why nothing I really make is quick, because I'm always like, oh, but let's move that. No, let's go back. Let's move that again. No, let's go back. Something like that. And I think, guys, I think that's going to be it. So let's move everything and bring this up. So it is nothing earth-shattering, but it is a cute little page, and it's used up some scraps from my scrap box and bits and bobs like that. And then let's make sure, why is that glued together there? Let's really rub this on this side. And there's my little journal. So we've got a cover. Remember, this is Secret Belgian. Look, I'll show you what I mean. Because it's not tight, do you see how the cover can kind of become slightly out of alignment? I don't mind that, but, or even this moves a little bit. I don't mind that because it is sturdy. It stands up. Remember, it does this fun kind of trick. You can see the spine. And then we've done our first little page. I feel like that's bending because the glue needs to dry. We've done our first little page in the book, nice and simple, using some scraps. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start, if I can, hold on guys. I'm going to start dating. So this is 21st of the 5th, 24. I'm just going to start dating my pieces because I don't do that and then I forget. So that's it, guys, and I think I'll do a few more of these videos where we will work in this little journal. But do go check out, like I said, there is the release, well, it's the Den of the Wanderer channel, which is one of Release the Crafting's channels that they no longer upload on there. They've kind of merged that channel and their craft channel together. But this video for this that inspired this little journal is on there, and they got the tutorial from, I think it's Sea Lemon. So both of those will be linked down below in the description box. And let me know, have you done this kind of binding before? Do you have any tips or advice for anyone who might be giving this a go? Yeah, now this is going to be a little art journal that I can just work in, try new techniques, and I'll share some of them on here as we go. But that's it for now, guys. Love this little journal. Love all the mixed media and the stamping and all that kind of thing. Love the fact that I've used this. Sarah gifted this to me years ago, and it's been sitting there, and now I've used it. Again, I will leave Sarah's channel down below as well, so go check her out and you can see what she does and how she paints, because she's absolutely brilliant at painting 3D printed pieces. But that's it for now. Thank you so much for watching. I will be back soon with another video, and until next time, wherever you are in the world, I hope you're having lots and lots of crafty fun. Bye for now.